I don't even know if it's worth it for me to talk because I never go live because every time I do a test, I can't post the live. So I'm just coming on. I'm stuck in rush hour traffic. I work I work later than I normally do. Um, and so I'm stuck in rush hour traffic. I live very far away from work. And so I'm testing out this live thing. There's nobody on right now, but I'm talking anyway on the off chance that I can post this. I don't even really have a topic to talk about. I mean, there's a lot going on. We've been seeing a lot of Shedeur lately, which I love. I be missing Shedeur when he's not, with him not playing. It was hard for media outlets to, like, you had no reason to talk to him. You had no reason to talk to him, but now they're talking to him. And I thought that might mean that something's happening, but it may not. It could just be they're talking to him because they noticed in the off season when he was playing, at least in that fake quarterback competition, his fans were engaged, and their engagement was up. Like my boy G. Bush said, he calls us Shedeur fans a stimulus package. Because if you run a Shedeur story, you're going to get more views, more clicks, more likes, more engagement, more everything. And it could be that they were just tired of not being able to take advantage of Shedeur being there. And now they've been interviewing Shedeur all of a sudden. What's that about? I don't know. But he made a comment today. Or was it yesterday? I think that came out this morning, so it might have been yesterday. He was active yesterday. Out on the town. But this guy got an interview of him in the locker room. And Mary Kay interviewed him in the locker room too. And he was very excited with Mary Kay. But with this other guy, he was back to his normal self. And he said that judging by the quarterback play that's going on right now, he knows he can get out there and do better. He ain't allowed to talk like that, but that's who he is. He knows he's better. So he just said it. He sees those people out there. Remember I don't know who's on here. I had mentioned in another video that I was watching Ocho and Shannon Sharp, and Shedeur called while they were filming. And it was right after it was announced that Joe Burrow was injured. And I felt like Shedeur was calling Ocho to try to get the inside track on it. So that kind of makes me think that Shedeur would be willing to go to another team. Would want to go to another team if it means he can play. I wouldn't want him in the Bengals because they don't have an offensive line. And Joe Burrow, first of all, never wins. He's not on a winning team. He's awesome, but he's not on a winning team. And he gets sacked all the time because he has no O-line. And I don't know why they can't build one. Why is my car shaking? Maybe it's just traffic. Let me turn off the cruise control. So I don't really want him going to the Bengals. I don't know. Unless he can fix his problem with going backwards in the pocket. It's not good for him to go to a team with no O-line. But then again, the Browns don't have an O-line right now. All of their guys are going to be free agents at the end of the season. So, but they got all those draft picks. So I think he's going to be okay. if he stays with the Browns. I'd like him to stay with the Browns. But now that I know that he's willing to go to another team, I can't help but think that nobody's taking him right now. He's still on punishment. And so nobody's taking him right now. Nobody's considering him seriously. Because I'm sure, I assume, maybe I shouldn't make assumptions. Uh-oh, this lane's about to end. I think I see an accident. I assume that Coach Prime is trying to get him a trade to one of these teams, like the Saints. The Saints could have had him. And, well, people always talk about Miami, but from what I heard, Tua just signed a big contract. I don't know why they signed a big contract with Tua when that boy is concussed. Tua on his way out the league. That boy stay getting concussions. So, I don't know. We're going to have to see with Miami. Other people that are caught wanting him. Well, the Raiders, their fans. I'm talking about their fans. Every Sunday, well, whenever Arch plays, I can't even be on social media because then you get all these comparisons to Shedeur. Arch is not like Shedeur. He's not. The unsportsmanlike conduct and all that. Shedeur doesn't do all that mess. Putting your wrist up is not the same as getting all up on some guy that you just scored on or whatever he did when he was acting a fool. And he acted a fool with his coach too. That's not Shedeur. But I was looking at some Jackson Dart content because I just really like him. I just like him. He got that swag. He has that swag that they call aura for him. He's no different than Shedeur. But for Shedeur, it's a problem. Well, I'm on my own live and I probably won't even be able to post it. They at the last Browns game, they honored that polarizing person whose name I shall not say. They honored him, and that told me everything I needed to know about the Browns. And then they don't care about their players. I was listening to the Arena podcast. Yeah, it was the Arena. Interestingly, Gil hasn't been on there in a while. But I like the people they've been having on here this week. And one of the players was talking about how the owners don't care about the players. They don't care about their opinions. They don't care about what they want. I already knew that because I see how they play with their lives. But to hear a player say it, because y'all know in the beginning of the season, a lot of people, Ocho was hearing things about Shedeur from players. He put one of them on blast, but who knows how many of them it was that were speaking up for Shedeur and saying that they think he's him based on what they're seeing in practice. Good old rush hour traffic. But I got on cruise control, so anyway, it doesn't matter if Kevin Stefanski loses the locker room. He won't care. They don't care what those players think. They're employees. Doesn't matter how much money they make. They don't think any more of them than the manager at McDonald's thinks of the cashier. I know that money is good. That's some good money. But to me, it seems like they need to be fighting back. I had mentioned in my video earlier today about Lamar Jackson being the latest case of collusion that they were busted on. I ain't heard nothing even about Lamar suing them. Nobody said anything. The story came out and it just died. Nobody cares. The players don't care because hey, when you paying somebody millions of dollars, they'll take some stuff. I'll take some stuff. And they taking some stuff from these owners. Even Shedeur. Oh, I want him to play with Cleveland. I want him to. It will all work out if he winds up playing for Cleveland, because they have a good team and they need a quarterback. And Shedeur's him. There ain't nobody in the draft. You can't keep waiting on the draft like they keep doing every year. And then this year, well, it was just a waste. But they got him though, and they didn't have to get him high. But it doesn't matter. They got to give the money to somebody. Somebody's getting the money at that pick that you're picking. So if it's not Shedeur, it's in this case Mason Graham. Mason Graham got the money. He earns the money. But I don't know what to think. I'm hoping that he can get out there for Cleveland. I really am, because I think that he can be their franchise quarterback and make them a good team and change their culture like he's been saying. What does that sound? So, and then I had said earlier that Jaden Daniels was struggling. I tried to find out before I got on this live if he was injured. I saw something somewhere about his knee or something, and he said he feels fine. I don't know what that means. Has he been playing? I haven't been watching him. Oh, hey guys. Hi. Ooh. Navolia. Hi, Navolia. Hi, Lily. I don't know if you're still there. Alicia. Yeah. They could really just be interviewing him because that's the only way for them to get clicks. I don't know. But Mary Kay been saying nice things about him. That'll get you clicks too, because I ignore Mary Kay. Up until this point, I ignore her. I hadn't muted her or anything like I did Grossy. He blocked me, so then I blocked him back. But I had muted him before that. I've muted all. But now that she's saying nice things about him, I done looked at her. She did a whole podcast that was over an hour long. I watched the whole thing. But you know what? I always said when Shedeur was in college, wherever he goes, I'm going. Like, that's going to be my legit team, just like the Panthers are my team. I'm going to now have 2 teams. That's what I said. And because they're treating him poorly, I didn't want it to be, I don't want to support the Browns, but I done already bought merch. I don't buy merch for no team but my team, no matter how many teams I'm watching. But I got a jersey for Shedeur. I got Browns t-shirts. I got Browns hats. So despite what they're doing to Shedeur, I guess they still kind of my team. I watch them the most, even with Shedeur not playing. Granted, it's hate watching. I was very upset when they won last week. I want to see them lose every week. Because, the more they lose, the quicker we can get Joe up out of there. We got to get Joe up. I don't know what they're trying to do with this Joe thing. I don't know. They just confuse you because you have no idea what they're doing. I wish somebody would take Shedeur. I really do. Either the punishment got to get off, or hopefully the punishment is he'll never play. Because them billionaires that honor bad people at games, they're not nice people. They're bad people. So I could totally see them making Shedeur languish on the bench and never letting him play in the NFL. I could totally see it. Otherwise, it feels like something is happening. Why is Mary Kay talking nicely about Shedeur? She wasn't doing that before. So I don't know. And I don't know if anybody cares about Cam Ward. I never really knew about Cam Ward. He emerged last season. His last season in college, he emerged. Shedeur was the top quarterback. And then there was this, like a battle going on for which one of them would go first. That's when I started hearing about Cam. And I think I watched him once, and I was like, he doesn't look like an NFL quarterback to me like Shedeur does. Let's see how it translates, how his game translates to the NFL. Well, he's no Jaden Daniels. That's for sure. He's struggling. I had to get on this person today. You know, I stay in those comments on people's necks because people always talking trash about Shedeur. And you know, I'm getting better. I'm getting better. I'll look at comments and I'll say, you know what, that person's entitled to their opinion. Leave them alone. You don't have to respond to every slick comment about Shedeur. I'll let them slide. But today I had to tell somebody, and I wasn't being slick. I'm just telling them. They said, I think it was Cleveland.com, did another interview on him. It wasn't Mary Kay this time. It was a different guy that interviewed Shedeur this time. And he put at the top of the YouTube, he said, is Shedeur ready to play? And one guy said in the comments, has he learned to stop taking sacks? Bruh. Lamar Jackson got sacked 5 times last week, and it might have been 6. But I'm just saying 5 because I ain't sure if it was 6, but it was definitely 5 or 6. And then 2 weeks ago, Cam Ward got sacked 6 times. I said, why Shedeur got to be the only one not getting sacked? Why Shedeur got to be the one to figure out sacks? Everybody else gets sacked. Joe got sacked twice last week. Oh, I don't trust none of those devils, Alicia. I don't trust none of them. That's why I said I don't even know why is she talking nice about him all of a sudden when she been so nasty. And Cleveland.com, like, if I saw a story was from Cleveland.com, I don't care how curious I was about it, I would never, and I still, Mary Kay interviewed him, and it may be on her, in her article on Cleveland.com. I ain't clicking on that. Y'all ain't getting no clicks from me. I will start dealing with Cleveland media. Other than I do have a couple of them that I like. G. Bush. I like G. Bush by himself on the barbershop and on that panel show that he's on, even though, you know, Jay is annoying, but that's okay because people are entitled to their opinion. So Jay being weird and writing off Dylan and Shedeur, they write them off as a pair. Have y'all noticed that? The media is no nicer to Dylan than they are to Shedeur. Even worse, because they don't even cover Dylan. They just write him off. They don't wrote him off because you know why? Because they saw him in practice in the off season. They can't watch him now, but in the off season they were there, and they were the ones that was telling us, I don't see it with Dylan. I don't see it with Dylan. That's how I know Dylan's not him, because they were the ones reporting that he wasn't him. Yeah, I watched G. Bush, and then I also watched Grizzer sometime. He's so cute. So I watch him sometime. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of offshoots of that Ultimate Cleveland show that I watch. But like those guys on the radio, I muted them. You know, I'm too attached to Shedeur. I get mad when people talk smack about him. The racists are easy. I can just block them. Block, 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 block. Not on YouTube, though. It's hard to block somebody on YouTube. I feel like I blocked somebody. I don't know. I got to figure it out. because people can just run wild on YouTube, and I just can't with all the, I can't with the racism, y'all. I can't. I just can't. Yeah. Yeah, I don't trust Mary Kay. She's very knowledgeable. So I did sit through her podcast because she just has a lot of knowledge. And I appreciate that from her as a woman. Because you see those women, you see how Mary Kay look, you see how I look. We old. We auntie. But when you go to ESPN and all those TV shows, what the women be looking like? They be looking like they slept their way into that job. They be dressing like it. That's how they look. And they don't know anything. None of the people on that show know, on those shows. Those guys are busy. They travel. They ain't even barely watching games. They only say what they hear other people saying. It's just, they so corny. So I don't watch them either. I like my guys on YouTube. My guys on YouTube are my favorite guys. Preferably former football players. Although Asante, I don't remember what his last name is, but I watch Say What Needs to Be Said or something. I watch him a lot. But I wanted him to explain to me why Shedeur got to pick where he got to go. And he made it seem like that happens. No, I've heard other players say that does not happen. That it was strange that Shedeur had the option to turn down the Eagles and the Ravens. I don't know. If the owners ever decide that they are going to take their foot off his neck, even if it's that they say we're going to make him sit this whole year, I hate that for him, because I can see that he is stressed out. He says it doesn't bother him, but you could look at Shedeur and tell in his face, just like with me, that something is bothering him. He'll say it's not bothering him, but you can tell it is. That's why when he was speaking to Mary Kay, I could tell that he was happy. And when he was speaking to that gentleman who posted it, I think it was this morning, the interview might have happened yesterday, and he was talking smack about all those quarterbacks that ain't playing good. That's him being him. Because sometimes he falls back. Like that first week on the sideline when he had his hat to the back. No, Alicia. Somebody posted on Twitter. You know when Shedeur and Shyla were filming during the draft, people, I don't know if this was posted on Well Off Media, because I just cannot watch that whole video all over again. That was an emotional roller coaster for me. But somebody posted the portion of the video where Baltimore called. It was on camera. There was a lady that had the phone. And they said on camera that they gave her the phone after Shedeur got the prank call. They didn't want him answering the phone anymore. So she answered the phone, and it was Baltimore. And they asked for Coach Prime. They didn't even ask for Shedeur. They asked for Coach Prime, but Shedeur was the one that was right by her. So he got the phone, and they asked him for Coach Prime. We didn't hear him say anything to him. We just knew it was Baltimore. They called during the draft, for sure. As a matter of fact, Coach Prime said that both of them called during the draft, the Eagles and the Ravens, in the 5th round, both of them. So, I guess as a courtesy to Prime, because he is Shedeur's agent, that's who they were talking to, you know, Prime could say, I don't think my son want to come there and sit. You know, and really only play if and when they get injured. These guys get injured all the time. I told you, everybody knows that. Jaden Daniels, his knee, something going on with it right now. They get injured all the time. Hopefully just a small injury that won't take him out for too long. Yeah, everybody, I didn't see it either. But I didn't watch that whole stream. I was busy watching the draft. I was into that draft waiting for my ding dang nephew to get called. And so I wasn't watching the whole stream. I only saw it like on social media. And I don't know if I ever watched, I think I did watch the whole video, because during this time that Shedeur's not playing and I like legit be missing him, I be on YouTube looking for any kind of content with him in it. Not, you know, a lot of these people do like fake stuff, clickbait titles, but I'm on to them, so they don't catch me slipping. They don't never catch me. Well, one caught me slipping today. One caught me slipping. If you do just exactly the right title, I might click on it. So, but yeah, I think Coach Prime has some favor with people. But it's the owners. It's the owners. Stephen A. Smith was the first one that said, somebody told me that those owners was calling from one draft room to the next saying, don't draft him. And he was just the first one. But there were multiple people. We gonna hear the story about this down the line in a few years. Watch. There'll be a documentary or something on this nonsense. Yeah. And that's why they give it to us. That's why they just put anything out there. And that's probably why Mary Kay is interviewing him and writing stories about him. But she's the inside girl. She's the one with the inside track, and she does what they tell her to do. So, and then Coach Prime feeling confident. I feel like something's going on. I don't know. But Shedeur mentioning those other quarterbacks and the fact that he called Ocho Cinco right when it was announced that Joe Burrow got injured, it makes me think that Shedeur wants to leave too. He just wants to play. I don't think he wants to leave. He got Gage there. He got Luke there. He got Caden there. He's got Aiden, who I don't even talk about enough. Aiden Huntington, that's his friend. Those are his friends. That's his friend group. There was another one, he got cut. Keyshawn got cut. I don't know where he is. But that was Shedeur's friend group. So, he likes those guys. I don't think if he had his way, he would not leave. He would play for Cleveland. He could see their team is good. They just need a quarterback in the O-line. So, I don't know. I hope that the NFL lets my nephew play eventually. I want to see him play so bad. I've been waiting for this for 2 years. Born and raised in Cleveland. Oh, okay. Wow. Wait, so you're from Cleveland, but you don't like them? I didn't want them to go to Cleveland either, but now they got a team. But their coach sucks. You know, well, Kevin Stefanski is like a scaredy cat. Well, y'all have to watch my old videos. But they said during that period when they were talking smack about Shedeur during the pre-draft period, that Shedeur made them feel small. Kevin Stefanski is the type of guy that Shedeur could make feel small, because he's trash. He's not manly like Shedeur and the Sanders men. The Sanders men more manly than most. But he's that type that would be intimidated by a man like Shedeur. And I say that because he keeps putting his quarterbacks out there and trying to protect them. He didn't do it for Shedeur, but he did it for Dylan, and he does it for Flacco. Like he's trying to protect them instead of winning games. He doesn't want Flacco to throw the ball down the field, although he could, because he's afraid he's going to throw an interception, because that's what he does. He knows that's what he does. So he's like, Joe, Let's not throw no interceptions. Let's just throw it 5 yards, 3 yards. Joe averaging like 3.5 yards per throw. But that's because those are the plays that Kevin is calling for him. And he also was calling them for Dylan Gabriel in the preseason. Shedeur didn't get that. And Shedeur had opportunities to throw it down the field. I don't know if Kevin thought that he wasn't going to get it, baby. Don't you know about his completion percentage? He was doing it all summer. So I don't know if he let Shedeur do more, or, you know, Shedeur can freestyle a play when things fall apart a lot of the time. Sometimes he thinks he can do it. He won't let the ball go. He keeps trying to do it, and then he gets sacked. He gets sacked 20 yards back. But sometimes he's successful, and he gets a touchdown. He gets a Hail Mary. He gets big plays. So, but Kevin Stefanski keeps calling checkdowns, screens every ding-dang pass, because he's scared that Flacco's going to get exposed with all those interceptions. Hey, at least he's been keeping his interceptions down. You know, Flacco throwing like 1 a game instead of 2, 3, 4. So, we just have to keep an eye on it. Me too, Alicia. I went to a game. I went to Shedeur's first game. And I was talking to a gentleman, you know, we were near each other. And I was telling him how, you know, I've been only a Super Bowl watcher my whole life. I only watched the Super Bowl. I didn't really care about football. I was even a cheerleader from Pop Warner up to high school, and I never cared about football. I didn't learn about it, nothing. And then Sierra got with Russell, and I started watching Russell's stats. You know, I wasn't watching the games, but every game I got Russell's stats for years, every game. But then when Coach Prime and them went to Colorado, that's when I started watching games. That's when I started learning about football. That's when I became curious and would research. If I heard a term I never heard of, I would Google it and see, should Cleveland Browns do what? And see what it meant. And start learning more and more and more. Last season, I started doing recaps. Now, to this season, I went to YouTube. Coach Prime and Shedeur did that. And that's why, just the same way that I picked my Panthers, is sentimental reasons for that. And I will never quit on them, no matter how long they suck forever. But it's the same thing with Shedeur. Wherever he goes, I'm going. It's not even Shiloh. It's not any of those receivers. It's Shedeur. It's something about him that's special to me. His work ethic, his leadership. He's special. So that's why now I'm stuck with the Browns. Until they trade him, I'm glued to the Browns. It's unfortunate. It's so sad. Pitiful indeed. Oh, but so when I was telling that man that, and how I'm all into football now, and I'll be watching games, he said my wife got the same situation. Me and her took pics at the game. We were hanging out. We were having a good time. The tickets that we bought, child, came with not free, all-inclusive food and drinks. And I took the Uber there to make sure that I could take advantage of that. So they have turned a lot of women into football fans. And we be in them comments on them necks, boy. I love on Twitter. Even though I post my, sometimes I'll post my video on Twitter if I think it's a good one. But I guess nobody watches them because they be thinking I'm a guy on Twitter, and I love that. I'd be so proud. Wow, I know enough about football now. They think I'm a man. Whenever they, address me as a man, I never correct them. Because I feel like if they knew I was a woman, they wouldn't respect me or my views. But here I am on YouTube. Excuse me. Okay, well, I was testing out the YouTube. I wanted to see if I could post it. I have never been able to post it. I'm going to try it again, but I'm going to get off. But just in case I'm able to post it, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll holler at y'all. Now I got to figure out how to stop it because I don't even know how to turn it off. I've only done it 3 times. No, girl, you don't want no Twitter. Twitter's the devil, girl. Them people be having me so upset. Well, I mean, I guess one thing that's good about it is that you have some semblance of free speech on there. Like, you can't even get nobody the middle finger on Instagram or they'll shut your whole account down. You can do it on Twitter. Twitter, anything goes. Hey, you heard how Bryce Gray be doing whole pornos on Twitter. Ooh, I shouldn't have said that. They see now. See, I shouldn't have said that because now YouTube gonna be mad at me. Anyway, I probably can't post this anyway. Yeah, Twitter's crazy, girl. Oh my God, I don't know how to stop this ding-dang video, y'all. There's an X up there. Maybe that's it. That's got to be it, right? All right. Well, y'all have a good day. Thanks for chatting with me. Thank you, Alicia. Mwah.